All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Qudash. Double honors to apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and the truth. Shalawam. This is GMS Precepts, and there's our Khud here. And real quick, I got a quick video. It's something that we talked about at camp this past weekend, this Saturday. We had a we had a special guest. The bishops came through. The bishops from CT came through, and we was blessed to have them there. And the bishop Tazadakba, who's he's man. So he's always somebody I always admired how he's able to just like he's known to just he's known to go into history, right? Like, and whenever he comes around or whenever he speaks, and he's somebody I always look up to, because he's like a real good teacher, and his recall and his history on things are just is good, man. It's like, when he goes, he just goes in the spirit, and he's just able to just recall a lot of important facts, man. And his sword is sharp, and it was, like I said, it was a blessing to have him there. I just wanna wanna give him his flowers, so to speak, man. And that goes for all the bishops, man. Whenever they come around, it just brings me back to the days of 34th Street, out there in New York when we first came in, '08, '09, some brothers '07, '08, '09 on 34th Street, man. And it brings me back to that time when it was totally different, man. Um, '09 is crazy. Now we're here in fucking 2025, man. But anyway, I just want to give him and the bishops their flowers. But he brought to my attention that something I never knew was this right here, right? You see it right here, the Freedom House Ambulance Service, right? It was an all black. Well, I'll read it, right? This is something I googled. We brought this up, basically saying that Jake created everything, man. And Jake, so-called Negroes, not only the Negroes, but so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we don't get credit for anything in the society, despite us building up the society and making it great. We made this society what it is today, and we get no credit for it. And Esau being a damn thief, right? Like my brother brought out St. John 10:10. The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. One of his things is that he steals everything, man, and takes credit for it. But that's something that, that's something that lets us know who the devil is, man. And who that man of sin is. But so reading on, it says the Freedom House Ambulance Service in Pittsburgh was the first all-black ambulance service in the United States, and it was also the first to be staffed by paramedics with advanced medical training beyond basic first aid. Excuse me. Founded in 1967 to serve the Hill District, a predominantly black neighborhood, it revolutionized emergency medical care by providing pre-hospital care. Right? So this is, and this is something recent, man. 1967. This is in 2 years, it's going to be 60 years. And this is something, like I said, I never heard about in school. I never heard about this, and Esau, that's why they say history is written by the rulers or the conquerors. They'll never bring this out. And in 100 years from now, they'll make it seem like the Freedom House were so-called white people, man. I mean, let's just look at some of these. Let's look at some of these images, man. 1967, man. Look at this. Black men, first U.S. paramedics. You see the first, pretty much, the paramedics, and it's gonna go into it. They pretty much revolutionized modern day pre-hospital service. Let's see how it words it. Words are a little better than I can say it. It says, founded in 1967, a predominantly black neighborhood, it revolutionized emergency medical care by providing pre-hospital care, right? So reading on, it says how Freedom House was so significant. Pioneering pre-hospital care. Before Freedom House, ambulances in Pittsburgh and many other cities were primarily used for transportation to the hospital with little to no medical care provided en route. So prior to this Freedom House service, Freedom House ambulance service, you did have ambulances, but they didn't provide. They were basically just a ride to the hospital. They didn't provide any care prior to coming to the hospital, right? Freedom House paramedics were trained to provide advanced medical interventions like CPR and emergency medicine. This is something that wasn't common in ambulances prior to the Freedom House, right? And it says what? Setting a new standard for pre-hospital care. Impact on emergency medical. So the Freedom House paramedics training and the skills led to a dramatic decrease in ambulance mortality rates in Pittsburgh and influenced the development of paramedic training programs across the United States. So this is something that you see this, and this is something, man, this is how you know that our people are special, man. Whenever we're involved in something, we make it better. We take it up a notch. Right? This is how it's easily, not all the time, but this is how sometimes it's easy to detect or know if somebody's an Israelite or not based on um if they're able to take it up a level or do it better than their peers. Right? This is why we easily say that Bruce Lee is an Israelite, you know? And certain musicians, they might be so-called white people, but they're Israelites. Why? Because they're able to take it up a notch, man. And this proves it, man. You know, their training led to a dramatic decrease in mortality rates, and then they did so good they influenced the development of paramedic training across the United States. Overlook history. Their groundbreaking work and the impact they had on emergency medical services. The story of the Freedom House was largely overlooked for decades, with many of their contributions erased from history. Like I said, 100 years from now, they'll make it seem like this was all white people. I could see somebody like Spike Lee doing a movie on this, like a docu type of movie, right? Or what's the what's the new Spike Lee dude? The dude that always works with Michael B. Jordan. He's like the new Spike Lee right now. He just did Sinners, the movie Sinners, which is doing real good. I could see him doing a movie like that. They better do it now for Esau. 100 years from now, they claim it's white people. Freedom House not only provided crucial emergency care, but also fostered community pride and trust, with residents often requesting their services over other emergency responders. Legacy. Freedom House legacy continues to inspire the efforts to improve emergency medical services and address health disparities as seen in initiatives like Freedom House 2.0. Look, this is history, man. Let's look at some articles here. This is it. Pittsburgh's black paramedics who pioneered emergency medicine. So prior, you might have some Edomites here, you know what I mean? But look, all Jake, man. You see, a woman here. Look at that. Before 1967, ambulances did not provide emergency care on the way to the hospital. After an emergency or car accident, the police will be called to transport injured residents to the hospital. In the back of a squad car or police van, the injured would receive no treatment, no CPR, no emergency medicine. Mortality rates were high, and many did not make it to the hospital. That all changed in 1967, though, with the creation of the Freedom House ambulance. Freedom House's all-black EMT staff received intensive training in emergency medical care and became the first team in the country to provide pre-hospital care Thanks to their training and hard work, ambulance and mortality rates in Pittsburgh dropped drastically, and modern EMT care was born. No. Prior to becoming an ambulance service, the Freedom House was a civil rights organization that worked to register voters, organize NAACP meetings, and provide job training for black Pittsburghers. In '67, the organization was approached by Philip Hallen, president of the Maurice Falk Medicine Fund, and Dr. Peter Saffer, often credited as the father of CPR, to create a public ambulance services. Maybe that's them here in the picture, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is something. I'll leave this article in the description, man. This is history, man, and this is just more proof of how special and how much influence and how we lifted, how much we made the society better, man. I would have never known that. I would have never known that. You see? I'm gonna leave it with this scripture, man. This is Jeremiah 51:19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. You see? Let's look up something here. Been here. Let's look up the word rod. Sha, shab, shabao, shabat, shabao, shabata, shabta, shabat, sha, shabat, shabath, bat, shabat. I don't know. Shabat. Staff, branch, offshoot, club, scepter, right? Shaft, spear, dart, club, or shepherd's implement. Trojan scepter, mark of authority. Clan, tribe, right? Branch of stick for punishing, writing, fighting, ruling, walking, right? A rod of his inheritance. Branch, offshoot, club, scepter. So so we're, that's how you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are symbolized. We are the rod of his inheritance. Israel is a rod of his inheritance. Let's look up different versions here. NIV, he is a portion of Jacob. He who is a portion of Jacob is not like these, for he is a maker of all things, including the people of his inheritance. The Lord Almighty is his name. He is a maker of all things, including the people of his inheritance. Because one thing you got to remember is Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're the Most High's creation. We come from the ultimate creator. He's the one that created the blueprint, which Yahawashi and the elect created, right? But we just follow the blueprint of the Most High, the blueprint of the Heavenly Father, and He created a lot of things, right? So He's a creative entity, man, and we got that gift also. We're very, very creative. We're very innovative. This is that's how you can make a distinction between an Israelite and a non-Israelite. By how creative are we? How creative is that person? If he's super duper creative and innovative, he might very well be an Israelite. The Lord is a portion of the descendants of Jacob. The Lord, who is the portion of the descendants of Jacob, is not like them, for he is the one who created everything, including the people of Israel, whom he claims as his own. He is known as the Lord who rules over all. Right? NLT, what's this? NLT, the God, but the God of Israel is no idol. He is a creator of everything that exists, including his people, his own special possession. The Lord of heaven's armies is his name. Powerful. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is in it. So, I'm just reading different versions here. But nah, man, the portion of Jacob, you Israelites were very, very creative and innovative. And here's just more proof. Here's just more proof. You know? Also, what's the name? He brought up the Bishop Tazadakba. He brought up the man who created the internet on the technology of a cell phone. Black. Here it is. Yeah, because I looked up. I can't. Here it is. Black man. Jesse Russell from Connecticut, right? While no single person is credited with inventing the first smartphone, I'm sorry, I said internet. It was really the smartphone. Black inventor Jesse Russell played a significant role in the development of cellular technology, including smartphones. He held over 100 patents, including those for the first digital cellular base station and a mobile data telephone. Russell's work at Bell Labs contributed to the creation of the first black digital cellular system, which paved the way for smartphones. Russell's inventions were crucial in bringing us the modern cell phone. Come on, man. Jesse Russell was a pioneer in the field of cellular and wireless communications. In 1988, he led the first team from Bell Laboratories to introduce a digital cellular technology in the United States. Come on, son. And this is something that, like I said, you would never know, right? You would never know. I can't even. This is him right here. Did you know the first black man is behind the invention of the first digital cell phone? You know. Now, when you think of cell phone, you think of that nigga. What's his name? Nigga who died that made the iPhone. You know, when you think of cell phones, you think of that dude, the Apple dude. What's his name? Steve Jobs. You know. When you think of a light bulb, you think of who is it? Thomas Edison. But he's credited not for creating the light bulb, but creating the filament, right? But really, it was a guy that worked for him, a so-called Negro, a Judite, man. Right? So look, man, we are the form of all things, man. We are the form of all things. Everything that's innovative in this society, we created more than just fucking peanut butter, is what I'm saying. All right? All right? So, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters are edified. I'll leave this article in the description. This is something a lot of brothers and sisters could learn from and read it. I'll finish reading this article after I do this show. But it's very insightful, and it just gives you more pride, man. And this is, if more of our people knew this, we would, we would think more highly of ourselves, man. But Esau knows what he's doing. His time's almost up, so it don't even matter. Our people are waking up, and there's nothing that you could do about it, man. The Lord's about to return and put you damn devils in slavery, and wake up the elect and put you Israelites back in our rightful promised position. So until the next show, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters are edified. Till the next show, shalom.